Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the What's Up Wenatchee podcast. Happy Friday, everybody. Nikki Darling here. We are broadcasting live from the P2X Studios downtown. It's a much bigger studio than my own, which means that it's a little more echoey in here. It is a absolutely gorgeous place right on the South Wenatchee Avenue. And if you haven't ever been here, please come down and check it out. It is fairly new. And if you haven't met Jess and Dan, who are the owner and operators of P2X Studio, you'll get a chance to at least chime in and maybe interact with them through our time with them here at the studio on What's Up Wenatchee today. Grayson is here with me. I'm trying desperately to get the other computer up and running and get that and it's just a camera, our second camera up. But for right now, we have everything up and going, and I think I'm gonna look over here to my left. Jason. Oh, see, I've got Grayson and Jason to my left. See, I told them they weren't going to distract me, and then I totally got distracted. Grayson gives me the thumbs up, which means we've got video, we've got sound, and we're good to go. So we've got 2 hours of a live show ahead of us, a lot of ground to cover for the day. Man, this week, I'd say the last couple of weeks actually has gone pretty darn fast. If you ask me, in this past week, we saw a little break in the heat that happened. We didn't use our pool as much in this past week. I know, really high class problems we have. We didn't get to use our pool as much this week. But hey, don't laugh at me.
It was a real pool people problem.
It was a real pool people problem. Is that like a cool person problem?
Yes.
Yeah, cool person, pool person. I'm definitely not. I don't consider myself a cool person, but proudly an uncool person. I can't. Here we go. Oh, I got the other camera up, which I'm really happy about because it has the big high behind me, which is iconic. I think it's becoming pretty iconic in Wenatchee Valley. I thought my logo, the Darling Productions lip logo, was a iconic logo in this valley and was super recognizable, but I think this high logo with the pink background is becoming pretty iconic in the valley as well. And that is synonymous with the P2X brand. So we're going full on pink today. And in my brain last night, I was like, man, I totally missed the chance to bring it around to the Barbie movie. You know, everybody's been talking about the Barbie movie. I posted a stream from my text. Did you see that post the other day, Grayson?
I did.
Can you come over here so I can talk to you?
Yes, I would love to do that. While I sit over here and play with gadgets. It's my trendy fun thing. Give me 1 second.
Okay. So I took a screenshot of a text message post between we have a group text between me and my sisters. I have 2 older sisters.
Yeah.
I'm the youngest of 3. One of my sisters still lives in New Jersey, and she has 3 kids. The other one, her boyfriend works for Homeland Security, so they move around a lot, and I think they're in Texas right now. So this is the way that we keep in touch.
Right.
And so the middle sister, and we are all so different. Like if you wanted 3 girls, all from the same set of parents, all Italian American, raised in the same household in New Jersey, you could not have gotten 3 different children.
But you almost all look so close in similarity.
Yeah, we do. And sound
cool.
Similar too.
I've never heard your sisters speak, but I've seen photos of you guys as kids and as adults. So, but I've also met your mom, so I'm like, wow,
yeah, I look a lot like
see
my
it.
mom.
Yeah, I see it.
So my middle sister, Michelle, who lives in Texas now, she texts us a GIF of the Barbie movie and goes, "Are you girls excited about the Barbie movie coming out?" Exclamation points everywhere. No answer for like a day. Like half a day, really, because we don't go that long without talking. Finally, I answer. And me, my very diplomatic way of answering things, I go, "I watched the trailer." And my other sister, the one who still lives in New Jersey, goes, "Not exactly excited." And it was just like, it was perfect. It was like, you could not have seen a better snapshot of the three personalities of the three married daughters so perfectly by their reactions to the Barbie movie.
Right? It's like Goldilocks and the Three Bears,
Yeah.
kind of like, this one's too hot, this one's just right, this one's
Mhm.
that was because I read that post and I laughed. I was like, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And then I watched played the little GIF thing that was on there.
But everybody is going googly gaga over the Barbie movie.
Yeah, one of my nieces actually is. The other one didn't really care. But the older one was like super stoked because it's pink.
Everything pink, everything
shiny,
pink.
shimmering pink Barbie.
Well, I'll admit, I had Barbies when I was a kid. I played with Barbies and dolls. Sure, why not? I don't know. I think I don't know. I didn't play with them the same way that I think my sister Michelle did. She was a very girly girl when we grew up. I was not a girly girl, so I was more like a G.I. Joe more than a Barbie type of kid.
Were your G.I. Joes allowed to go to Barbie's place?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I remember distinctly that our G.I. Joes were not allowed.
Oh, not allowed?
Even though we were but they're friends of Ken.
Oh.
Because my little sister forced my other sister and I to play Barbies with her Barbie 3-story, and I'll roll my eyes on that.
The Malibu Barbie mansion?
Oh my gosh. And she had cars and a camper and
Yeah, this was my sister. So I got all my sister's hand-me-downs, right? Because they were 5 and 6 years older than me. So I was the little runt that was definitely a mistake that popped out 6 years later and got all the clothes, all the hand-me-down toys, all the hand-me-down bikes, everything hand-me-down. So every doll, Barbie doll, Corvette, Malibu house, everything was a hand-me-down, and it was in pretty bad shape by the time I got it. Yeah, we had a lot of that stuff too.
My mom did buy that stuff for me and made clothes. But I cut all Barbie's hair off.
Yeah.
And I colored her green and purple with my crayons and said I couldn't touch her because she was infested with some kind of sick disease. And never refused. I just would play with my G.I. Joes. But and my other sister didn't like them either. But our youngest sister was all about it. And because she was all about it, my mom got her anything and everything that was Barbie.
Yeah.
So we just got forced to play. I mean, you got hand-me-downs, and you were just kind of probably like...
meh.
Yeah.
I was meh. But I was meh about a lot of things when I was a kid. So,
did any of your sisters be like, "Hey, come over and you have to play this Barbie"?
No, they didn't want to play with me.
She did that, and I'm the oldest.
They did not want to play with me. That's for sure.
Well, it's the opposite for me because now you have the oldest being forced to play with the young. Yeah. Did you have either of them play Barbies with you?
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. I couldn't force them to do anything. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. At least it's not Ryan.
Oh.
Oh, that's funny. I'm
still
sure at some
anticipating,
point
yeah.
we will get a phone call
Or
from
text,
Ryan during
yeah.
the show. Yeah. But I have to say, because we talk about like marketing and promotion a lot on this show, that the trailer and the marketing that they did for Barbie was ingenious, right? You see the Barbie box photo shoots everywhere, and people get to go in and be a life-size Barbie and be themselves no matter what it is, right? And I thought like a little too late. I'm sorry, Jess. I texted Jess at like 6:00 this morning, and I was like, we should have done a Darling Barbie photo shoot. And yeah, and that was probably a little bit too early for her to receive a random text message from me, but yeah, it's okay. Her and I are close. Yeah, she gives me a thumbs up. I love it because there are seemingly, and we'll talk about this when I get Jess and Dan on, there's like seemingly very random things that have happened in the world and in life that have brought us to a very exact moment where Jess and Dan and I met in person for the first time and immediately became best friends.
Don't you like it when that happens?
Yeah.
Or it just clicks?
Yes.
It just clicks.
And so it was just all these series of random things that happened in my life, and I'm sure in their life, that have brought us to this exact moment. And then it was like, it just clicked. And then here we are. So it was really great. So I have not seen the Barbie movie. I probably will not go see it in the movie theater. Can I say that? But
you can, because I won't.
Oh, and also the marketing for this movie, when you see the trailer, they go, if you love Barbie, this movie is for you. If you hate Barbie, this movie is for you. Right?
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that genius?
I guess. I mean, if I'm forced to see it, I'll probably, well, not forced. If I'm asked to go see it, if my better half says something, I have no choice. Because I did go see The Little Mermaid in the theater.
Oh.
I did do that. I was reluctant.
How was it?
It's all right.
Is that like
so they
or is that like it's all right?
Okay, so I didn't mind how they did the live play actually at all. And all the people that they had be the characters was great. Things I didn't like. Sorry, folks, things I didn't like. Prince Eric having his own song.
Come on, let's be real.
Eric,
keep it real.
Frolicking across the deck of a ship, and in town singing a song about I did not
kind of like a la Gaston and Beauty and the Beast.
I did, yeah, but it fits with Beauty and the Beast. It changed
the character.
as what he represents, right? And so I wasn't buying it. Also,
did you know that Eric is supposed to be 18 in that movie and Ariel's only 16?
Mm-hmm.
It's totally illegal.
I know. Well, so is the first Disney release of the VHS cassette jacket, but we're not going there.
We're not going there right now.
I also didn't like that Sebastian's song was taken from him because I wanted to sing along.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
They took Sebastian's song away and gave it to Prince Eric?
No. They just created a whole new song that was never a part of the movie for him.
No.
That I didn't like.
Mm-mm.
And then they took the best song from Sebastian away.
Mm-mm.
The flute plays the flute.
The blood plays the blood. The flute of soul.
They changed the whole thing.
How can you do that?
He's not singing it. He kind of talks it. And then it turns into this 3D visual, if you will, but it's so different that it loses what the intent behind it was all about. Now, where they did do well, when they did the love song, when Prince Eric and Ariel and the boat, they did capture that very well. But the Sebastian one, that was
girl.
Yeah, they nailed that. but they like totally just were like, no, we're just gonna cut this one out. And they should have done it. They should have done it. They should have done it. Other than that, yeah. I mean, when I saw it, I would watch it again. But those two things were no, I don't agree. Don't like it. I'm gonna make sure that you folks out there know that how I felt about it. I think growing up, having that when it first came out, you got, all of us that are old got used to those songs and singing along with those songs and being immersed with the feeling of what each song evoked, right?
Uh-huh.
So taking it away,
or changing it.
Movie, and then adding a song where like all the little kids are just like, but you're like, what?
Right? Yeah,
I don't even know the words to that.
Yeah,
it doesn't fit.
Some of the movies that they've redone or made live action movies from, they've done some changes that I've gotten used to. Like Aladdin. Have you seen the live action?
Won't
remake?
do it.
Really?
No, not Robin Williams. Not gonna go see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's, it took me a long time, but then I really wanted something different other than Cars to watch with Trenton. Right. So I was like, I liked Aladdin. And so we tried the live action one because it was more adult and Ryan was going to be watching it too. So I'm like, okay, maybe we could try some live action.
Lose one person.
It is so difficult to try to find something that like I am more compromising than anybody else in my flippin' household. Okay. If my kid wants to watch Cars, I'm like, whatever. It makes my kid happy. Let's watch Cars. If my husband wants to watch Rust Valley Restoration, like I'm like, it's not my deal, but let him watch Rust Valley Restoration because it makes him happy.
Love that shit.
I don't have anything. Like there's no like, what does mom want to watch that's gonna make her happy? That doesn't exist in my household. TV is not that important to me. It really is not.
I know. And when it's on, I either see Ryan with video games, Trenton with Elmo,
right?
Cars.
Mika Gal, which is Mickey Mouse. Pika Gal.
And that's pretty much it. It's pretty much those two. As I say every show, we know who runs the household because otherwise you just have the other two people running around doing things, getting into things.
Is more like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, another phone call. Also not Ryan.
That's shocking.
It's very shocking. Well, so, we do need to get on with the show and get our guests on to talk to them. So I'm happy.
Do it.
Yeah. It all started with saying that this pink, that I even have a pink energy drink to prove how dedicated I am to going full on pink today. We have pink XLR cables. We didn't get pink microphones. I mean, that would have been a little excessive.
But you have pink leggings.
I have pink leggings on. Look, I'll show you my flexibility. I do yoga every day. Here's my pink leggings with
cassette tapes.
Cassette tapes. There you go. Yeah. That's the extent of it.
Jess got me a button.
Oh, Jess got you a button.
And then I stole but was given this pink
pig pen.
And now Nikki's gonna have to live with every time she sees this shirt. She's gonna have to see this pink pig.
Well, it will remind me of Jess, and I'm totally fine with that.
Cool.
So,
yeah, because once a button is on a shirt for me, that's kind of for life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's loyalty.
I know that's weird.
I can appreciate that.
Gotta represent. It can take on its own manifestation there.
Well, we'll catch up with you, Grace, in a little bit.
All right. Sounds good.
I want to remind everybody that we are a fully community supported podcast. We do this every Friday between 12 and 2. What it means to be fully community supported, that means that everybody that is watching, people like you, local businesses, local nonprofits, local organizations, you are the people that help keep this podcast running. It does cost money to keep it going, to keep the software that we use running, to keep the platform that we are, subscription, different microphones, to upgrade our equipment. We're trying to get better and be better all the time. So if you would like to be a supporter, and it can be anything, $5, that helps. $5 a month, that's $60 a year. It doesn't matter. Every little bit does help with keeping the lights on. So to speak. Yes.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah.
Like we really do behind the scenes update little things here and there, the best that we can.
Yeah. Honestly, all the time. So we do appreciate you. We appreciate everybody who chimes in and who gets out to all of our events. So if you do want to be a What's Up Wenatchee part of our family here, you just go to www.supercast.com, and that will allow you to be part of our community. And we put out regular exclusive content, and we do giveaways and ticket giveaways and prizes. So you can be part of that. We do that as much as we possibly can, because you give to us, we'll try and give back to you as much as possible. So there's the information on that. Later on in the show, we're going to talk more about the primary election. This is your last few days to figure out who you'll be voting for in really important positions like the school board elections and, of course, the mayor of Wenatchee. So we've got 3 candidates that are up for mayor. It's going to be narrowed down to 2. And we will go over some of those details and make sure that you're informed before your ballots are due on Monday. We are also going to give you some updates on the Washington State Swap Meet that's coming up in September, and all the stuff that's being added. There's lots of activities and events that are happening within the Washington State Swap Meet that whoever you are or whatever you're doing out there, you are going to want to be involved with this event. All right. But for now, I want to say goodbye to Grayson. Bye. Grayson. And if you could just go ahead and get Jess and Dan settled in.
Of course.
Thank you.
It just feels weird in this little cool environment we have going on.
Oh, I know. So we are, while he's doing that, I will also give you the number we have. We are fully interactive. So we have an interactive text line at 509-795-5602, which is on the screen right now. So you can text in and you interact with us. But an even easier way to interact with us is by the comments section. So if you're on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch or LinkedIn, whichever platform you're watching us from, you can go ahead and put something into the comments and it'll show up right here on the back end. You can ask me a question, Grayson, or interact with Jess and Dan. We're going to see what is going on with P2X Studio. They've been downtown here for about a year. Yeah, about that. We'll get the lowdown on who they are, what they do, and what actually brought them to Wenatchee, because they started out on the East Coast, which is why we are best friends. No, that's not why we're best. It's part of why we're best friends, right? Yeah. So I want to welcome very wholeheartedly to the What's Up Wenatchee program, Jess and Dan, the owners operators of P2X Studios. How are you?
Good. Yeah, great.
Thank you for hosting us in your studio today. This is so cool. Look at this.
Excited to have you.
Do you know the exact color code of this pink?
Yeah, I mean,
because I do.
Not the hex off the top of my head, which I should, but it's 100% magenta. So it's really easy to keep consistent, to dial in.
How did you guys come up with that? You're just like, we need something.
The pink color?
Yeah.
It's Dan's favorite color.
Yeah.
Oh, Dan's favorite color. Oh,
Mine
okay.
is yellow.
Well, I can see because you have the yellow hand on.
But he was like, pink is I don't know, what we need to.
It always stands out. You always notice it, and it always looks great.
But yeah, you do though, because now, I mean, I don't know if you were listening earlier, but I said it's become pretty iconic around here in a very short time.
Yeah, thank you.
You're
yeah,
welcome.
people will say that, and I'm like, oh, cool. Like, but yeah, with Barbie, it's like she's taking over the pink, so we gotta.
I know she's taking over your gig here. You got to take it back.
Well, now there's a lot of pink stuff, for sale, so that's good for us. We can.
Yeah,
Wait
more
till
stuff.
Barbie goes out of style again. Buy
It'll
everything
still
on
be here.
discount.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then then you're good.
It's
Right.
not going away.
Yeah. So I want to tell people okay. So we met for the first time in person because in the way things happen around here, especially doing what we do, which are we kind of work around each other, marketing, podcasting, videography, graphics is what you guys do. I do podcasting and marketing, and you guys are videography and graphics and design and branding. And so we kind of orbit in a lot of the same circles.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was only a matter of time before our orbits just collided, right? And seemingly random for me was like, I ended up donating a free karaoke party to, it was the Chamber, Chamber of Commerce Gala, right? They solicit donations that they could auction them off at the chamber to make money for themselves or raise money as a fundraiser. So I was like, sure, I'll give you a 2-hour karaoke party. And they auctioned it off at their gala. And again, it's random. It's totally random. And Top Rojanasatian at the chamber wins the auction. And then decides to use this auction as for his wife's birthday party. And it was actually, you guys, it was on a night that I was already booked for another gig.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And so I originally told him, I was like, I can't do it, which is why he got another DJ. So there was actually another DJ for this party, and I was not even supposed to be there. And right?
Okay.
So you guys were invited as guests.
Yes.
To this very swanky birthday party. So good for you. And so I went from one gig, closed everything down, drove over, and then set up at this gig, and closed out the night with a couple of hours of karaoke.
It was so fun.
It was a lot of fun. But that's where I met you very randomly. And I was like, this is so weird. I knew of you and I didn't know what you looked like. And then all of a sudden you were like, Nikki! And I was like, I don't know who you are.
Cocktails.
Yeah, cocktails. But I loved
So
it.
excited to
You're like,
meet you.
I'm really cool even when I'm not drinking. And I'm like, but I love you like this. Can you be like this all the time? And that's how I knew that we were going to be, besties from
That
then on.
was so fun.
Yeah.
You do so good at karaoke. And
Oh.
you're a really good interviewer. And you're good at all the other things you do. It's just leave
This
some-
isn't
leave
supposed
some
to be
space for the rest
flattering
of
to
us.
me. I'm supposed to be flattering you. You're not supposed to be flattering
But
me.
I feel like we do have this Venn diagram of a lot of different things that we do. So it was fun to actually get to meet you.
Yeah, and ever since then, I've been going. We need to collaborate on something. We need to do something. We've been trying to collaborate on a few different things. So we'll get there.
Oh,
and
we will.
We'll
We're
just
right here.
rule the world
Yeah.
after
Does
that.
this count?
This
count,
does
right?
count. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is just fun.
This is fun.
Yeah. This isn't work.
Yeah.
Well, it is, I guess, for me, but not really. But let's talk about how did you guys get here, right? Because we know what you do, but how did you get to where you are right here in this beautiful studio in downtown Wenatchee? Come on, guys. I have such studio envy right now.
We do feel very, very, very lucky to be here. So especially like in this town, in this space, it kind of all, we kind of just like have trusted the universe a little bit and just kind of followed the way things have happened. And that's kind of how we ended up in the studio. I mean, and then I guess we can work backwards, but we were looking for a space. Actually, I don't know if it makes sense to work backwards.
No, let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
And then, then get to the space.
Okay.
Could do that. So we met in New York City, in Manhattan.
On Bumble.
True.
Bumble.
True story.
We're business partners and married.
All right.
Yeah. So we should probably, clarify that.
That's like slim chance to none to meet in New York. People don't understand how many people are in New York City. There's like
Dating
a billion
apps
people.
in New York City suck.
Yeah, well, dating apps anywhere suck.
Anywhere suck.
Let's just say
I
that.
guess I only did them in New York City, so it's like
You should be happy that you had that much of a dating pool as you did in New York City.
That's true.
You should be lucky that she picked
Said
you.
They suck, but seem to work out for you.
well, I know. I had deleted all the apps, and then my friend was like, "You got to just go on for 1 week. Just do 1 week, and that's it. And then you can be done forever. But do it for 1 more week." So if Oliver had not said that to me, I don't know if we would have met. But so I did, and it was Sunday, and I was like, I can't wait to delete this app. I'm so down with it. Bumble works for a lot of people. Dating apps are fun for people. It just wasn't for me. It just you get in your head. You feel bad about yourself. I don't know. People ghost you. It's like sad. I don't know. It's the whole
Yeah, it's emotional.
yeah
Roller
it
coaster.
stinks. And so I was like, I'm fine. Just like I don't need this. So Sunday morning we matched and then chatted all day and then
Early bumbling.
yeah.
Nice.
It was like the day I was gonna delete it. So I feel like we were supposed to connect.
Yeah, people say the grass is always greener. People on dating apps around here are saying that there's zero dating pool, right? Slim pickings.
Yeah.
So, but in New York City, there's a huge dating pool. So how do you weed through billions of fish?
Yeah. And it kind of feels like it's, there's always there's always a different person. So if your date isn't 100% perfect, you could go on a different date
just
the
go
next
on
night,
something
so
else.
it just feels like I don't know.
Flighty.
Yeah.
Too flighty. Yeah. But it
But we
worked for
met.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where the season 1 began. We every year, because we met at the very end of the year and kind of like technically started dating right at the very beginning of 2019. Met in 2018, started dating 2019. So that's season 1. So we always think about our life as a TV show.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
we're video, film people.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
everything's always a TV show with different characters and
I was just saying yesterday as I was weeding in my garden and narrating it in my head, going, why do I narrate my life? Why? Because I'm a storyteller.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. We think about everything as TV shows. So yeah. But so yeah, season 1.
And then you dated.
was
Yeah.
all New York. Dating in New York.
But we also realized, and the city, so
Mm-hmm.
that we worked basically a block from each other. So my office
Crazy,
at the time
right?
was at 27th and Park, and then hers was 28th and Madison.
Madison. Yeah.
So
No way.
literally
It was
In a
opposite
huge
corners.
city,
Yeah.
you guys worked a block away from each
Yeah,
other.
it was
Yeah,
awesome.
which
'Cause it'd
is-
be bad days would just be hey, do you want to grab a coffee? Or we try to sneak out for lunch.
Oh my god.
We would always go to Desmond's on Friday for burger, fries, and beer for $10.
In the
Yeah.
city?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Can't
yeah,
even
it
get
was
it.
fun.
You can't even get a beer for $10.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you probably wouldn't want to look at the rating ahead, but just close your eyes on something.
We also eat street meat in New
Yeah.
York City
It was
too.
yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, we'd sneak out and have lunch on Fridays. It was nice. And I remember we moved in together pretty quickly because rent is insane. And also we were just madly in love within the first day. So we lived 10 blocks from where we worked. So we would get up in the morning, go to the gym together, walk to work together, and then we'd meet up for lunch or we'd plan when we were going to go home and go home at the same time.
Yeah, we kind of had a unbelievable routine. We lived on 22nd Street, and then offices on 27th and 28th.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't even 10 blocks.
So it was 5 blocks
Yeah.
for me.
And then it was
6 for you.
I just remember I have this like memory of like walking and being like, we have to enjoy this because this will probably never happen again. We'll probably never be this close. And now our desks are like right next to each other. You know what I mean? And it was just like, we have to enjoy this because like this will never happen. If one of us gets a different job or like we move, like this is never going to happen again. And
so
now
how does that work for you guys? Literally having desks next to each other. I don't know if I should ask that because they both looked at me like blankly. I don't ask that question.
No,
But no,
it's
really,
great.
you are married. Married. You're married now.
Yeah.
And you own a business together. You
Mhm.
live together. You sit at desks next to each other.
We do.
Do you ever have time away from each other? And do you ever get sick of each other?
Rarely have time away from each other because we're connected in all those ways. And we don't get sick of each other.
I love that.
If we
You
argue, I mean,
guys
like
are
we're
so
not like
sickeningly adorable.
If we argue or disagree on something, it's about 3 minutes. Dan realizes I'm right, and then we're all good.
Oh, where do I find a Dan?
Yeah. Bumble.
Bumble. Yeah.
Manhattan.
Bumble in Manhattan on a Sunday night.
Apparently they're everywhere.
Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love all different kinds of people's getting together stories. So different from my own. Mine is definitely not like, hey, we met on the first day and I fell in love with you so madly. It was like the first day I met my husband, I was like, I want nothing to do with this guy.
Where'd you guys meet?
Well, we met through like a friend of ours was having a happy hour drinks, and we just happened to be at that same one down at South at Pybus and appetizers and drinks. And when you meet my husband, you'll realize like he is personality first.
Okay.
So he puts everything out there all at once. And he was talking about his garden and his bees and and I was like, I don't garden and I hate bees and like just not. And I
So
was
you're
like,
married to a beekeeper.
so now, yeah. So now we're married and we have a house and we have a huge garden and
Wow.
yeah, and a beautiful son.
Amazing.
And it was everything that I didn't know that I needed in my life, right? So that's usually how it goes with me. I'm like, please show me what I need. And then it gives me something. And I'm like, why do I need this?
Yeah.
And then I just have to trust the process, right?
Yeah,
you trust the
it,
process.
You know, just kind of
Lean in.
Lean in. Oh, see, you guys are so symbiotic. So symbiotic. I love it.
But we do gym time apart now. That was like, we were going to the gym together, which
we were doing that too.
shout out to Works, love it. But I was just kind of like, we need like 1 hour a day where we're not together. So now I do my own thing at home and he goes to the gym. I miss going to Works, but it's just nice to like have 1 hour.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
to yourself. You can talk out loud, you know, be weird. Oh, well, I'm weird all the time, but
Are you like this reserved all the time, Dan?
How do I sit? See, like Mr. Ed, like I kind of talk when I need to. So
He just compared himself to Mr. Ed,
yeah,
really?
talking horse.
The thing
even though
is-
horses.
his biggest fear, horses.
Yeah,
So I don't know why he makes this comparison all the time because he's terrified of horses.
There's got to be some kind of Freudian psychology about
There's
that.
probably something going on. Up there.
Something.
A horse like in a past life.
Yeah. Disgusting.
Disgusting. You did want a beer to do this podcast. You were wanting like to have
Yeah.
a lunchtime beer, so maybe you need
It's
to.
Friday. It's-
Are
Yeah,
you?
you can, if you
Do you
get-
lighten up a bit when you get a few back?
yeah,
yeah, but I mean, come on, this is business right here.
you can have a
This
beer.
is not business. I told you this is fun. This is fun.
All right.
All right. Ah, see.
We'll get the real
See?
Dan.
I will get. Yeah,
Well,
it's all the real Dan. It's just
Yeah.
different versions.
yeah, exactly.
Why in the world, if that was the thing, 22nd or 25th, 27th, whatever, and you have 5 blocks to walk to work, New York City, street meat extraordinaire, pizza on every corner.
Dollar slices.
It's like drooling. Even though I have a thing about pizza. Okay, I'm just pizza snob.
Yeah.
And I just can't get pizza like that out here. But why make a move? What happened? Why what brought you here?
We were kind of putting the wheels in motion before the thing that we like to call the event happened
The event.
in
Very
2020.
ominous.
I know that's
Mm.
makes it sound cooler.
Do, 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 do.
But we were just both at a point. I was working in an ad agency. She was working at a production company, and we were kind of just, I don't know. For me, I felt like I was kind of treading water in a bit.
Mm.
Like, and it was great. I worked on a lot of amazing projects, met a lot of really cool people, and overall really enjoyed my time. But it was just kind of, it got monotonous in a way. And so we started putting our heads together and thinking, could there be a possibility for us to branch out and do our own thing? And so that's in Manhattan, well before moving here, even had that idea. We would spend weekends kind of brainstorming. If
We'd
we
rent
had
workspace and like write things
her
on
company,
whiteboards.
yeah,
We were
was in a WeWork.
Really?
We could rent, like,
on-
workspaces for
so
free.
we could grab a WeWork on the weekend, like
and we'd,
after hours.
plan
A
that we came up,
work?
Yeah, so it's
like the co-working
you could share
Okay.
kind
co-working
of share work.
space.
Yeah, that's like where I was working out of, but you could like book
Right.
slots. So I'd
It's like mercantile.
Yeah.
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we still have like the piece of paper where we had come up with our name. That happened like when we were in New York. We knew.
P2X.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
How did it, where does that come from?
our last names. It just like PP sounded bad.
PP sounded bad.
Yeah, we wanted to have some kind of unique name, but also include ourselves in it, but also not sound like a law office or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
Pearson Pappas
Yeah.
Partners
Yeah.
Incorporated.
Not that law office names
Yeah.
are bad, but
Like
yeah,
P 2 times.
yeah, P two
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
So it's like pretty. But yeah, that's where the pin that you're wearing is. We like started coming up with, because everyone's like, what does it mean? So we started coming up with like other things that was pizza, like party pig, and like I'm wearing one that is pizza palm. And so we started making all this stuff that's
Oh,
like silly,
cool.
you know,
Yeah.
dorky. But so we kind of started building this idea. We knew we wanted to get back closer to family. I grew up in Kashmir. Dan grew up in California, and we knew we wanted to kind of get back to this coast. But we were thinking like Portland, Seattle, LA, like that's where we
Big
were
cities.
because that's like
Yeah, we're
our
the hub
industry.
cities.
You
Yeah.
know, like if we
Yeah.
wanted to get a job and move, we would, because it's hard to move across the country without having something.
Yeah.
So we were kind of like, maybe we'll get somewhere, get a job, and then like slowly kind of start this thing. But then in a matter of like 3 days, everything changed because it was COVID. It was it was just like I was actually sick, pretty sick. We were supposed to come back home for the weekend for my dad's retirement party. And then I was too sick to fly. And so I didn't want to get on a plane if I was sick, because it was right in that beginning part.
Mm-hmm.
And then both of our jobs went remote, like instantly. And then we were like, I was starting to feel better. And then it was like, we should just go stay with my parents because our apartment was so tiny. The only way we could both be on Zoom calls was Dan would sit in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
'Cause I'm not going to sit in the bathroom all day. So Dan would sit in the bathroom. We would both be, that was the only door in our entire apartment.
Oh,
Open floor plan.
It was so tiny. And it was like, this is miserable. Our kitchen's tiny. We can't cook. This is like, if we're going to be stuck here, we may as well go like live with my very cool parents and their big house and in Kashmir, which is like tons of space.
yeah.
And get a dog. And that's, so we just,
And
like,
get a
let's do
dog.
that.
Yeah,
So
naturally.
Yeah.
we just like got a one-way. In 36 hours, we booked our ticket, one-way ticket.
Like
thinking-
after you guys went remote, is that what you
Yeah,
mean?
it
Like
was
in
like, it
36
went
hours after you
remote.
went remote.
I called my boss and was like, hey, is it okay if I work from Washington State instead of the city? And he was like, totally. And everyone was kind of doing that. And a lot of people were doing that. And so
I mean, everyone was splitting.
Yeah.
Like I had coworkers that lived were from South America that flew back to their families in South America, and they were just still.
because it was like, if
everyone
you're going to be
on the same
remote, you can be
schedule.
wherever you want.
So you moved back to Kashmir, but you're working for a New York City
Both of us.
company, both
Yeah.
of you.
Both.
with a New York City salary
Yeah.
remotely,
Yeah.
Correct.
but paying Kashmir, Washington living wages.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hence the studio.
Which is why we were able to actually save money.
Pretty sweet gig.
So we
to
kind of
pull off.
knew. So we were we were like, okay, let's move back to. We moved in with my parents. We like got a one-way ticket in 36 hours. We packed up our entire apartment because we were like, we're not sure if we'll be back or not.
We had
Yeah.
a couple
And we had
really
2 more months.
stressful trips, huffing boxes from
Yeah,
the Home
Home
Depot and
Depot.
Flatiron.
And then we like packed our entire apartment.
That you thought was never going to end when you were actually in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was, so we packed the entire thing up, which there wasn't that much stuff because it was a very tiny apartment. But we like left everything. I left some notes just in case like we hired movers to come in. We assumed we would be back and we would just bring everything back. Because our kind of thinking was we'll be in Kashmir for like a month. Everything will kind of get better.
Right.
We'll fly back to New York, kind of get to say goodbye to everyone, kind of close that chapter out a little bit more pretty. And then we'll get a truck or whatever. We'll move everything and we'll kind of figure out where we're going to land. That's what we kept saying. 'Cause for some reason, we didn't think we'd land here. But it was like 2 days into living here. Dan's like, why don't we just live here? And I was like, oh,
Mhm.
I don't know. I was like an angsty.
Dan, do you know people out here? Do you have family out here?
Just her,
Yeah.
my family now, but yeah, just her folks. And
Like
then
your
her
family moved out
brother
here?
and
No,
his
like
wife.
now.
Now
you know.
this is
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
family. Yeah.
Yeah, my family's still in California, but I mean, my family was very excited that we were at least finally, after about 10 years, on the same coast again.
Yeah.
Same
I
time
bet.
zone.
Yeah.
Do you get to
It's-
see them more often? Have you gone down to see
Yeah.
them? Mhm.
I'd like to go more often, but I'd say every couple months or so we fly down and
Oh,
make a
good.
trip.
That's nice.
That's the goal. So
Mhm.
you can, and it's an easy flight, to San Diego. So it's
And you
like-
and so when you made the decision to stay,
we stayed with my parents for like 4 months still.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of started looking for a house, which seemed so out of like living in New York in the apartment. It's like you never
Yeah, we
think
never thought
I'm
we
never
were
going to
gonna
buy
be homeowners.
property. We're never
For
going to
sure.
own a house.
you're
know?
preaching to the choir.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
know.
So just out of
Yeah, you just don't.
possibility.
So then we were like, so it was still out of possibility. And I think it was your dad who was like, fill out this thing and see because he has like spreadsheets.
My
He's very
dad's
smart.
the smartest man alive, and he built us a little like a spreadsheet where you could plug in any kind of price of a house, and then it'd calculate all
Your
the
income.
Yeah, your income. It'd calculate all the expenses that you'd need.
So we could
and
price out like
what you'd have to save back, like, and then it
Is
was
he
crazy.
like a financial advisor?
he's an
Uh,
engineer,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Super smart.
but
Yeah.
like just smart in everything. So
Mhm.
so he sent that to us and we filled it out. I filled it out for like every scenario, and I was like, I think we can buy a house. So we started looking, and then we thought it was going to take a while, and then it didn't. We found our house. We put an offer in, and then they accepted it, and it was like, now we're buying a house. Like
Oh,
it was really crazy.
yeah.
It was kind of a whirlwind. We kind of thought we'll look for a while.
Well, we were with her folks for what 3 or 4 months or
Yeah.
so, and so it kind of got to the point where it's like, all right, what are you guys gonna do now? Like,
But we could have lived with them
yeah,
forever. It was really
great.
fun.
There was no problems, but it got to that point where it's like, all right,
To have your
so
quarantine bubble, it was really
what's the
fun. We
plan?
Yeah.
had like themed nights. We would do all these like parties, just the 4 of us, because it was
Yeah.
like, but it was like, okay, if we're gonna be all like together and we can't leave the house, like let's do like really fun stuff. So we cooked a lot. We we would do like silly parties, just the 4 of us. We'd do like game nights. We'd do all this. We'd have like themes for we had a big calendar. We'd write something. There had to be something fun to do every day.
Really?
So that's
Every
what we
day?
did. Yeah, we would just like find something fun to do. I don't know. We were just trying to kind of make it fun, and we had
Excuse me.
It was a great experience.
And you got a dog.
and then I got a dog. Yeah,
Tell me about your dog.
his name is Abner. He's the best
Little Abner.
little Chihuahua mix.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like right when we moved back. I had been in apartments my whole life, adult life.
Yeah.
And it was like the first time I could actually get a dog. And I was like, I want a dog for my birthday. Because it was like pretty quickly after moving back, it was my birthday. My dad like, can you wait until you move out? And I was like, no, I want one now.
I
I
want
found
a
Abner.
puppy.
He's on Okan Dogs. Shout out Okan Dogs. And I was like, I want this dog. This is my dog. well, our dog, but and so
Birthday dog.
finally my dad gave in. We got him, and now my dad's like obsessed with him.
Oh,
We're
nice.
so
Good.
Abner's obsessed with my dad, but yeah, so we got a dog, which made everything better too, because he's just so sweet.
So tell me about the process of actually like building the business. And once you got here and you were still working, both of you were still working for your companies over in New York City,
Yep.
still had to have that responsibility, but you had started building like some foundation when doing
Yeah.
these, brainstorming sessions and things. But where was the first real move of, making a move towards
It was a
legit
slow
making a
build,
business?
for
It was
sure.
very slow.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird. Like once we moved into the house, we got our LLC, because I was just like, I want to just get it. I was still, by that point, my company did a lot of layoffs. I was one who got laid off, but then it was like 2 days later, they brought me back on for a contract gig. And that contract gig led to another one, to another one, to another one, which I ended up working for like, I think another year and a half,
Mhm.
pretty full time,
Right.
remote. And so, but it was like, I just kind of, in this back of my mind, I was like, I need to come up with like my, now that we're not in the city, it's harder to like get a remote job. So I don't know how long this is going to last.
Sure.
And I just started kind of coming up with my plan B, which I wanted it to be our business, because we really wanted to see if we could make it work. So I got the LLC. I started doing like little things on the side. I say because his job was like so demanding and taxing.
Quite demanding.
It was like 15 hours a day. And so like he couldn't really help me with anything. So I was like, I'll kind of get things started. I'll start doing little side projects here and there. We'll kind of build some gear, kind of build some ideas, kind of just see if this is even something that we want to like. And then the plan was like, I'll get it built up so big that you can quit your job and we'll just go for it. But
Wouldn't that be nice?
I ended up kind of doing some things, and then it was just time for him to not be doing this job anymore. It was just a lot of hours. And
was that a hard decision?
Well, the actual decision itself was really easy, but it just took a long time to get there.
Mm-hmm.
I was just burned out, to be totally honest. Doing that job and being on East Coast time, I'd start my day at, like on a Zoom call at 6, and then I wouldn't be done till probably 10, 11 at night. So
really?
It was,
Jeez Louise.
It was pretty gnarly. And so we were just kind of thinking, like, if we're going to be in our own house, spending this time doing creative work, we should be building towards our own thing.
Yeah.
So
like 3 months prior, I think I kind of like had a contract job that ended. And so I didn't have that. I wasn't working remote anymore. And I was kind of just fully trying to get new clients. But again, it was still kind of like there wasn't a lot of networking that's happening at that point.
Yeah.
So it was like kind of,
what do we
just
do?
Word of mouth. Like we kind of had a few different clients had locked in that we were working with
here locally.
Mm-hmm. Mostly nonprofits.
Yeah.
And so we were kind of doing a few.
Where did you go to start?
Well, so my aunt used to be the executive director of Wellness Place. So I had done some work. Julie.
Really?
Yeah.
Julie is your aunt?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Sweetest woman ever.
I love her.
Oh my gosh.
It was so cool.
Who just moved away.
I know.
So you move into town and Julie moves away?
We had like a nice 2-year overlap.
Was it that long?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which was really lots of family dinners and
good.
Yeah, we're just saving up all of our fun dinners and things for when we go visit. So, but
And what she's done with Wellness Place is nothing short of amazing.
Yeah.
Honestly, for people who don't know, I'm just going to take a little bit of an aside here to do a little plug for Wellness Place. They are a nonprofit organization that helps patients who are currently in cancer treatment and helps them with supplemental nutrition or gas cards or just a friend, whatever support they need. And they do really good work here in the community. Yeah,
they really do. And so we got to work with, it was kind of this perfect storm, I guess, of a lot of things were going virtual, so we were helping doing a lot more like video work and video content for them. And so I think because of that and Julie's connections with the community, that kind of got us into, you know, it's all word of mouth, I think, is like the best advertising.
So you guys did all the videos for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
That was you?
Yeah. That was my voice on the.
So good. That literally made
Yay.
Wine Women Shoes.
Thank you.
Like it brought it to the next level.
Thank
All right.
you.
So Wine Women Shoes, their yearly fundraiser. They did it last year for the first time. It's literally a night of wine, women, and shoes. And it's their biggest fundraiser. They raised like over $150,000 last year. And they do an auction, a live auction. And to supplement the live auction, they have been introducing the live items with these little videos, vignette videos, to get people excited about what the package is. And I did not know that you guys produced those videos.
Yeah,
Very
that was
cool.
my voice. And then we did like
That's my voice.
Yeah, it was like trying like a 3 octaves higher, but and then we did impact videos that were there as well. So we worked with Marissa Collins on the last one, which was super special. And I love her.
Well, that is really special because Marissa Collins is a staple in this community. A lot of people know her. She works for the PAC and she's a cancer survivor. And and that and she's very open about her story too. So I think that's a pretty cool way to get that out there. I've been wanting her to do it on a like a mini podcast series.
Because I know she did articles in the comment. So her story.
We just got
the fact that she's willing to share her story is really, really cool. She's just special. I love her.
So that was like some of the first stuff that you guys did was for Wellness Place.
Yeah. So actually, I had filmed a video with Marissa during COVID. I was like wearing face mask, face shield, and just did an interview with her for that because Wellness Place did their gala remote here. And so we did like a profile piece on Marissa. That was like one of our first projects kind of back in town. And then this last year we did another video with Marissa because I was like, finally we can do things the way that I want to do it, where like doing extra filming and like getting to like follow her around for the day and like get pretty shots and stuff because we weren't able to do that. You know, it's kind of bare bones what we could do with the COVID restrictions and safety, health, everything. So it was really cool to like reconnect her, 2 years later or whatever.
Yeah,
so
and now it's just a full story.
So doing the work with the Wellness Place kind of led us to I think that's why we kind of got in the nonprofit circuit a little bit. We love working with nonprofits. We do a nonprofit discount. We love working with nonprofits. I just think they're, every nonprofit we work with, their missions are so like important and powerful. And it's really cool to get to be a small part of that or help tell their story in a cool way. So
I think we are like in that way, you know, if we have a talent for or a proclivity for being a storyteller and being able to do that in an effective way and being able to do that and help people, it gives us a sense of purpose too. Right? It gives us a good feeling about going out there and doing our work every single day instead of doing somebody else's work every single day.
Totally.
You know, and being a business owner in that way, I get to choose the projects that I want to work on, the people I want to work with. And that's been the biggest difference in working for somebody else and working for myself. We're live, folks.
Back loop.
So that led us to word of mouth, working with other nonprofits, which was really cool. But we still weren't really like making a livable income at that point. But Dan had a day that was like just a bad work day, and we went for a walk and talked about it. And I was like, let's just take the risk. Like, this is the time. Let's just do it. Like, it's kind of scary to think about 2 New York incomes, leaving that and just totally taking a risk on a business. But it was like, this is the time.
Yeah, it was just, if not now,
when.
Yeah.
We never would.
And it's always going to be a risk, no matter how much money we have saved up or how much gear we've got. Like, let's just do it.
All right, guys, I'm going to get real with you because that's what I do. I know how terrified I was, right? When I left working part-time, because I was working part-time, doing a business part-time, and I left part-time to do this full-time. It was right before, the beginning of the year. So I was like, I'm going to go to the new year doing this full-time. And that was just me. Okay. My husband still had a full-time job, union job, was still coming home with a paycheck every month. And so that January, February, March was tough for us. And he still had an income. He still had that paycheck every week, right?
Yeah.
So I can only imagine what it was like for you guys, having both of you.
I mean, we're a little more careful now. I think with when we both had our jobs and big incomes, it was just we were very fortunate to have it, but we kind of was just like, whatever can get us through, like, let's not worry about it as long as we can kind of make it through and be happy, all good. Now it's a little different.
Well, I don't know. I mean, because we just started having really big conversations about like what's more important, money or time, and like our time together is so important. And like we still work a lot, but we're together, and it's work that we care about, and it's like stuff we love doing, and we get to call the shots. You know what I mean? Like, of course, like working with clients and collaborating and stuff is different, but we get to do things the way we want to do it. So like ultimately, like that was more important, and so it was kind of like, I think if we had just enough saved up to where we could take 3 months to see if it was going to fail.
Yeah.
And if we failed, we would get other jobs. I don't know. We just were we got it. That was like the biggest, I don't know. I mean, we're almost 40, and it's like, it's not like, let's just do it.
Let's do it.
We don't
and
have
if it
kids.
doesn't work, it doesn't work.
And
then we'll pivot.
We
we'll
can
figure
just
it out from there.
Yeah.
I love that.
So we were
Yes.
just like, well, but like, I don't know. So we went back and forth on it. We spent like the whole weekend. I think it was a Friday that the work incident happened. And it was just like really led us to this conversation. And then we just like spent the entire weekend, like pros and cons. We also have
searching.
We're big list people. We're very visual. So we had this huge piece of paper. We did like a pros and cons. Should Dan quit his job?
It
It is
time.
massive.
And
what are we gonna do with this?
what are we going
much
to do with this
space,
much
600
space?
square feet?
And then like within the first month, we were like, we could totally expand. You know what I mean? Like it was just like, we loved being in a
Yeah.
space. We loved having a place to go to work. We could bring Abner with us. So it was just like this perfect kind of place for us to land. And again, that was another risk because it was like, now we're going to be taking on rent,
Yep.
more expenses. We're making a lot less money. We're spending a lot more, like, but it was like, let's just do it. That was last August. That was about a year ago. Then in November, Chad came to us and said he was going to be closing the gallery, Collapse Gallery. And do we know anyone who would want to rent the upstairs space? And then that was another pivotal weekend where we did a lot of pros and cons. And then we went back to him and was like, can we rent the upstairs space? So then January 1st, we moved up here. And then that's kind of
Moved upstairs, moved on up.
where we're
So you
at.
upstairs and downstairs, or is
Just the
downstairs
upstairs. Chad
still open?
has his workspace downstairs.
Oh, he does. Okay.
So yeah, so we're just up here, and it's like, just we love it. We have like
Even though you
studio
guys keep
space.
the door locked.
Keep the door locked. We're usually working in the back.
No, I know. I
Yeah,
was
so we're
kinda-
just, if you ever want to come see us, if the windows are open, ring on the bell, and
Yeah.
as long as we're not doing a
You have a
shoot,
doorbell.
you know, you're welcome. But otherwise, people will just kind of walk in thinking it's still the gallery. We were
Yeah.
getting a lot of that.
Ton of
And
that.
so, which just, we're usually way in the back, and just for safety reasons, we keep it locked.
So I see that you have done quite a bit of work and worked with all different kinds of companies and organizations. I have kind of like a two-part question. I want to know, like, what is one of the funnest, best gigs and projects that you've worked on that kind of sticks out in your mind? And I know for me, like, I've got like the dream job in my mind. What is that for each of you? Like a dream
Dream job.
project
Oh, that.
that you could work on or do or go
So
or
something that we haven't done.
yeah.
yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we do a lot of passion projects, and because like we love what we're doing, so we do it in our free time too. And so we've got 2 passion projects. We've never really worked in long form doc before, and so that's something that we really want to like try and challenge ourselves to do. And so we have 2 that we're working on this year. One is following around Andy as he builds out Side Street in Kashmir. And that's kind of like a very long term. We're just kind of meeting with him once a month, like checking on the progress, like seeing how things are progressing there. Because his ideas for that is really cool. And then we're also a family member. We can't talk, I don't want to talk too much about it yet because we haven't filmed it yet, but we're going to be filming on Labor Day weekend. We're going to Idaho with my family. But a family member was in Vietnam and has a really powerful story that my brother and I we know about, but we don't know the whole story, and we've never really talked about it. And so we're filming this piece about my brother going on a journey to learn about this story. So that is something we're really, really, really excited about. And just, I don't know, seeing where those go and what it's just, we just kind of like have talked about doing these types of long form projects for years now. And it's like, let's just do it. Like what's holding us back?
It's another one of those things, not waiting for a client's permission or something.
Yeah.
So we're just
Yeah.
doing it.
Just go
So
for it and see what comes of it.
I think, so I guess like dream work might be more like just finding a way to get paid to do those things. I mean, I think there's really ways to do that, but we're just kind of testing the waters now and seeing like what happens. But I think we love telling stories. That's like really at the root of it. And so if we can in creative ways, and a lot of the work we do is more short form, and that's like a really exciting challenge. Like how can you pack like an entire story into a minute?
Right.
How can you edit things? Like I love the post-production side of stuff. So like, how can we like tell these stories in a cool way? But now we're kind of like, what if we did allow ourselves some space and breathing room to tell bigger
It's totally
stories,
different
you
vibe.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
How can we edit things? Like I love the post-production and stuff.
you're
So,
killing me, man.
tell these stories in a cool way.
Feedback
Is that what I
loop, man.
sound like? Oh no.
It wasn't what I sounded like earlier either, so don't worry about it. Yeah, do you have something that would be
I
like a dream
think- I mean,
project?
Yeah, longer form doc pieces. Bigger full branding projects always excite me because I went to school for design, and that's, I think, kind of like where my specialty is, and that's what really excites me. So
Yeah.
see what can.
I like getting to see you do more design work. It's really fun.
Yeah, it's something that I feel like I haven't got to kind of do as much of lately. So, and I think that's something that we could kind of show more capabilities as a studio.
So are you an artist? Have you always been artistic?
Loosely. I wouldn't say an artist in the traditional
You're like
sense,
artist
'cause
with a mouse.
She went to school for fine art.
Mm-hmm.
So she's more the traditional artist, but I always had a really kind of love and curiosity for all things visual and how things got put together. And I mean, when I was growing up, I really wanted to do record artwork for bands. That was kind of like the end game.
Cool.
I could do like metal band layouts and stuff.
Yeah.
Also played in 8 different bands.
What do you play? What do you play?
I learned
The
playing,
triangle, I bet.
I could probably figure it out.
Yeah.
But I learned playing bass because it's, one of those things.
Yeah.
Growing up in a smallish town, my brother played drums, and then everyone else played guitar, and so it's like, okay, what's left of like the big three, like garage band,
Dan family band.
Yeah, so played bass, but now I since my brother played drums, I was always around drums, so I can hold beat, I'd say. But I've been playing more guitar now. So I like
playing drums a lot too. We have so our old office at home is now our music room, which is really nice because that's like our favorite way to decompress a day.
Oh, cool.
Is just go home and play music together. So that's kind of.
So add that.
Have I mentioned that the two of you are sickeningly adorable as a couple? It's amazing. I love you two so much.
We play Beach Boys covers.
Do you really?
That's kind of our only thing that we play.
Well, Dan is from California, so that makes sense.
We do it like a sick cover of California Girls.
My son, who's 2, we just gave him his first drum set.
Cute.
Nice.
Literally.
I love getting music to kids early.
Oh, he's so musically and he's
so cool.
He's been drumming on the Dogs for a long time, so we figured we would buy him a drum set.
That makes me happy.
Yeah. I mean, he has all other kinds of stuff, but he really is a drummer.
Kids are so creative. They've got
that thing.
It doesn't get sucked out of us until we're like in school and
And he sings. He sings karaoke. He can't read, but he can sing karaoke.
Do you sing karaoke?
I host karaoke.
I know you host it, but are you like?
Oh yeah, I sing
like,
terribly. I don't sing
because I don't
really
think I
well,
saw you
but
sing that night.
I sing so that it gives everybody else permission that don't really sing to sing. Like I'm like that terrible person that goes up there and is like, "Hey, I don't know how to sing."
And I'm seeing a shaking head.
It's true. It's true.
What's your song?
Oh, I have a lot of them now because I host.
Pour some sugar on me.
Oh,
Okay.
Box it every time. Yeah.
Little Def Leppard.
Very much a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, I figured out some crowd pleaser songs.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. There's a few
Not
of them.
lucky because everyone gets into it. So.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm a performer. Let's
Okay.
get this right. I'm not a singer, but I'm a performer.
Okay.
So I'll get up there and do a little pour some sugar on me and perform the crap out of that song.
Shoot.
But it doesn't mean that I'm singing very well.
Okay. Fine.
Does that make sense?
I bet it's fun. We got it. When's the next time you're doing karaoke?
I don't know. I want to do it here at the studio.
Fun. Okay.
Can we plan that? You have a perfect space for it.
I love karaoke.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Well, let's do it.
My whole thesis and when I got my master's in fine art and I did a lot of performance stuff was all karaoke centered. It was all about karaoke stuff. It was weird.
Wow.
But yeah, so I did a lot of
Yeah.
I did
That's
a lot of
weird.
karaoke. I would record. It was back when Google Translate or Transcribe was really bad. It was just started. So it was the very first beta version of getting your voicemails transcribed.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always get them. They were gibberish, so weird. So I started leaving myself voicemails of singing a song into the voicemail and then getting that transcription and then memorizing the transcription of like gibberish and then singing that at karaoke. So I'd go to these karaoke bars and I'd sing it because it's audibly like, I don't know if that's the right word. Like, what's the about vowels and consonants? Like
The
like
cadence?
that kind
Yeah.
of like
sound phonetically
sound
correct.
phonetically right. But the words were like, hey baby 555, text me one more something, you know, like, or whatever. And it was like none of it made sense. It was the hardest thing to memorize. But it was I did Olivia Newton-John's Hopelessly Devoted to You.
Yeah.
And then I would go to karaoke bars and sing it, and no one would notice.
Really?
No, I'd know, because I kind of thought, okay, we'll see like how people respond.
Yeah.
I'd go to like the busy, like I'd like go to Portland bars and stuff. No one would, not once did anyone ever notice. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Yeah.
So what did that prove? People's brains would just probably translate the words correctly so that they
Yeah.
understand.
I think we hear what we want to.
Yeah.
I think like also I don't know how many people like listen to lyrics when they're listening, like taking in music.
I don't usually. Like Ryan, my husband, he does. I only started listening to lyrics because he's like, did you hear that? Did you hear what he said right there? I'm like, no. What did he say?
Yeah.
Like,
that's really important.
but I am
Yeah,
like a
I've
lyric
never been a
person.
lyric
Like I actually,
person either.
because here's something that you can learn about me. I'm half deaf in the right ear.
Oh.
Yeah, I do. I work in professional audio and I do audio editing, but I'm
Wow.
half deaf in my right ear. So people who have accents, people who mumble, people who talk really slow, or singing sometimes,
Yeah.
it doesn't like I get the beat and I like that and it's all. But if I want to understand lyrics, I have to look them up
Interesting.
because I never understand them ever.
Well,
Hardly
what's
Kind
your-
of
ever.
similar to that. I've never been a lyrics person, but I've been a big melody fan. If the melody is amazing, then
True
that will
metal
be
fan
kind of
right
like a
there.
good
Yeah.
song to
Yeah.
me. But then when the two collide, then it's an even better song.
Yeah.
What did your friend? Because people always like mishear lyrics too. You
Always.
know, what was your friend's that said?
Oh, that we always
The bathroom
joke
is on the
about.
right.
No, it was when what was the song? The
Apple
that
Bottom
Apple
Jeans.
Bottom
Yeah.
Jeans. Florida.
No,
What my yeah,
yeah.
my buddy had a few one night, and then I'll never forget was just singing apple bottom beans, delicate necklace of pearls. It's just amazing. And it's
It's like you
Delicate.
kind of-
You do not want a pearl necklace. That's a totally different thing. It's not that kind of show. You gotta go talk to Cars for that. Is it the Cars or ZZ Top that did a pearl necklace? Never mind.
ZZ Top.
Was it ZZ? Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
There you
That was a classic in the 6-disc changer growing up.
go.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You guys listen to vinyl?
Yeah, we do. Oh, yeah.
You have a record player at
Some.
home?
Yeah.
we don't have a massive collection. I
No,
wouldn't
I
say we're
used
vinyl
to.
people, but we've got a player and
I
some of
love
our
it
favorites.
though.
Where did you guys go to school? Like college?
I went to Art Center College of Design in Pasadena, California. It's a pretty esteemed art school. They're really known. It's kind of funny. They're really known for transportation design, which is like designing cars. So a
Oh.
lot of graduates have gone on to design like pretty much a lot of like
Weird. Okay, I guess they do have to
Something,
come from
yeah.
somewhere.
So
Yeah.
but they had an amazing design program. I think some of the like world's best design teachers. I was very fortunate to
Mm.
go there. It was a grueling about 3 years, I want to say, maybe a little under 3 years, but I survived it and definitely better for it now.
Well, because you did like community college before that.
Yeah, I cut my teeth at community college. Did because I didn't entirely know what I wanted to do, so I
Yeah.
just took every community college class I could. I want to say it built up over 200 credits,
Whoa.
or 200, maybe up like 300. I don't know what that even means anymore. That was in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that cool? I don't
Yeah.
know. And then I went to Eastern Washington University and did photography, and then changed my major like 100 times and then landed in photography. Did a lot of darkroom stuff, which, I don't use anymore.
Mhm.
But then went to University of Oregon, got my master's in digital art, and did a lot of stuff. And then thought, I'm going to be like an artist. And then could not get a job because it was like the recession. It was like terrible time to try to get my first job. So I ended up teaching video, photo design, and all the stuff that I'd been learning, but had learned in this really like art context, like conceptual art context, not like in production. So, but yeah, so I taught for a few years and then kind of branched out on my own. And then that led to me to New York and then at the production company. And then the rest from there. Yeah.
So I know that you guys are still getting out there into the community, and for, I don't know, businesses or people that are looking for what you guys have to offer, like who would come to you? Like that kind of sounded weird, but I mean, like who are you appealing to? Who would be a good client for you?
I think anyone that's looking to kind of like maybe improve or better their brand, whether that's visually through like a rebrand or just, video and photo as well. But like anyone who's kind of looking to kind of like build up their brand, I guess. So that could be, like I said, we work with a lot of nonprofits. But also small businesses, big businesses. We love doing like video series. So anything that like, I guess, I don't know, I'm rambling.
I think just helping brands and companies figure out what their presence is and how that looks and how that's consistent. I think across the board, across what does their storefront look like? How do they decorate their store? What do they look like on social media? If they put out promo videos, how does that fit in with everything? I think that's something, not to talking trash, but I know like locally and just for a lot of companies starting out, use the tools that you can, like Canva and stuff. So a lot of stuff kind of starts to look the same and then is different for the different communication touch points. And so that's where we can help is how can we make cohesion across all that.
So that way when you do
and that's where our Venn diagrams cross, right?
Yeah.
Because I talk about clarity and consistency of message, and that's what I do with Darling Productions. Is those like I build out integrated marketing campaigns for businesses and organizations. So and bring them to you and say, here, let's get your brand right, and then integrate it into all of your marketing. So you can't integrate a mishmashed or wishy-washy brand, right? The whole point is a consistency and clarity of message. And you can't do that without what you guys do. So my clients and your clients are basically the same people, because it's just a symbiotic relationship about what I do and what you do, right? You can't have a brand without marketing. You can't have marketing without a brand.
Which is why we need to find more ways to work together.
I know.
I think we will.
Which is why you guys need to be out at the Washington State Swap Meet.
I know.
Because we were talking about that. It's coming up September 8th, 9th, and 10th.
What exactly is it?
Yeah. Well, it's like a marketplace. So we have 400 vendor spaces over 4 baseball fields in East Wenatchee. So think about how big of a space that is. And over the course of 3 days, doing a full out festival, family friendly festival. And within your space, you pick which size that you want, either a 10 foot by 10 foot, 10 foot by 20 foot, 20 foot by 20 foot. You guys need a 20 by 20 totally, because you can fill a space. But within that space, you could do whatever you want. You could sell stuff, you could swap stuff, you can give stuff, you could do, I think you guys need to do some kind of photo booth, right? Some kind of backdrop photo booth, whatever. You use it as promotional space. I mean, it's only whatever. I'm using it. I'm going to do one for Darling Productions and do like a karaoke booth.
Fun.
Right? Just as like promotion over the weekend. There's going to be thousands of people there. I want to get my name out there as much as possible, right? So other people can do yard sale stuff. There'll be collectors. There'll be activities. There'll be kids crafts, family activities, eco fair,
Cool.
food trucks.
Okay.
All it's a beer garden, Dan,
Very nice.
beer garden. cornhole tournament.
Fun.
Yeah, but so it will be a huge well attended event for the weekend, so that's eyes on your brand
Yeah.
on your brand all weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that sounds really cool.
So I'm gonna sign you up. You're
Yeah,
you're,
okay.
you're signed up.
Done.
You're gonna be there. I don't know what you're gonna do, but you're gonna do something.
Yeah. I mean,
As long as their booths are next to each other's.
Yeah,
I wanna hear
totally.
karaoke.
Yeah, totally. Your booth next to my booth.
Yeah.
I mean,
There
we
you go.
already have
Collab.
Yeah.
collab. Well, yes, we'll meet, figure out some kind of collaboration.
We'll swap meet.
Oh, look at you. You are so awesome. Man, I wish this could go on forever.
I know. Well, friendship does.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
It just may not, all of our conversations may not be recorded. But
That's probably for the
That could be
best.
your next art project
Yeah.
going forward.
record
Every
all of our
conversation
projects.
will be recorded.
I mean, conversations.
I am going to come to you to get some new headshots done.
Yeah.
But I don't want them to be like boring
No.
because it's me.
Yeah.
So let's
You're
think
not
of something fun and different
Yeah.
way to do some headshots.
Love it. Into
Mhm.
it.
Yeah. And I don't know. We're going to do lots of fun stuff together. And the pink really has nothing to do with Barbie. Is it really your favorite color?
It is. One of my first bands, our CD that I designed, that was all pink. So it's been with me for a while.
So that's why I
Yeah.
go with the red, because it's eye-catching, one of the best like marketing colors out there, red, yellow,
Yeah. Yeah.
pink.
And your logo is just cool.
Oh, yeah.
Did you make that?
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Cool.
Thanks.
It's so cool.
I think your logo's cool.
Well, we're just cool.
We're just-
I mean, that's
yeah.
the crux of this podcast. Complimenting each other. I like it.
This has been a very like blow smoke kind of podcast. No, not at all. I do think you guys are awesome. You brought these great lights. You brought us a mic for today. So, and you let us hang out here
Yeah,
in your
anytime.
studio. So it's been a lot of
It's been
fun.
super fun.
But anything coming up for you guys that we should know about or be pumping up, or where can people get more information about you?
Our website, p2xstudio.com.
Oh.
And then our handles are at p2x.studio. And we're trying to be better about putting current work out there, but we have been keeping our website kind of more up to date. So more of our like latest work is there. Yeah. I think we're working on 2
Okay.
videos for Cancer Care of North Central Washington. So another awesome cancer related nonprofit. I don't know if you know much about them.
No,
But
I don't.
they have they do services for the community as well, but they also have Our House, which is
Yeah,
a house where
okay.
people can travel to have a comfortable stay, an affordable, comfortable stay during treatments.
Yeah, so if they're coming in from out of town and they need to get a treatment and then stay overnight.
Yeah, because Wenatchee is kind of the hub for that for a lot of North Central Washington. So we have been really fortunate to work with them. Another connection made by Julie. And so we are working on 2, it's their 30-year anniversary. So we're working on 2 videos for them. One that's more about their social services program, and then one that's kind of a picture of the last 30 years, how they got their start, what they're doing now, where they're going in the future. We've got I think we interviewed like 15 people that have been a part of the organization throughout the last 30 years. So
Oh.
it's been really fun to learn that story, learn more about their story, and be able to kind of bring that together in a nice piece for their fundraiser coming up in September. So
What's it been like for you guys in Wenatchee, being, from either California or Kashmir, which is a little different. But now really diving deep, ingraining yourself into the Wenatchee Valley community, business, Chamber of Commerce, all that.
yeah, it's fun. I like it.
It's a
Yeah.
unique community for sure.
It is
Very
and
unique.
Yeah, we're learning more and more, and I feel like now that we have the space here, before it was like we didn't know anyone. at all.
Yeah.
Now it's like we go out to eat and it's like run into 20 people, you
Yeah.
know, which we love that. Like it's super cool to just get to know so many people. And we've been doing a lot of work with the Downtown Association. So that's like led us to meet all the downtown businesses, that
Sure.
meet
Yeah.
our downtown. And so it's like, I feel like the downtown is kind of our little, like, it's just like our little bubble now. And it's super fun. Like there's so many great people and great businesses. And
No, it's been great to just be part of a community, because as awesome as it was being in bigger cities, you kind of get lost. But here we're really making friends with people that are actually kind of shaping local culture.
Yeah.
And we feel like we're kind of getting to a point where we can have a say in that as well. And so it's been awesome just to see, just to kind of leave like a stamp in a community, just be part of something that you know you can directly influence.
Just supporting all the small
Yeah.
businesses and the small businesses kind of in turn supporting us. It's like a really cool community vibe.
It is.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a really cool vibe. And that's part of the big reason why I love living and working and calling this home now.
Yeah.
You know, people say, what brought you here from New Jersey? And I say work, and you go, but this is home now.
Yeah.
Right. Like I finally have gotten to a point where I go, I thought I was going to move around the world for my job my entire life. I never thought I was going to settle down in one place. Honestly, that's just
Yeah.
my story. The fact that I own a home and have a kid and a husband, it's all a life beyond that I never thought I could have ever had. So this is a very special community, and I now consider you guys part of that community.
Yay.
And consider you not just friends and colleagues, but really good friends and colleagues. So thank you so much for having us here in your
Yeah.
studio today and spending so much time with me on the podcast.
Totally. It's so fun.
And honestly, anytime. Like,
Yeah.
let's do it again and keep people like, let's get into a collaboration and then have to come back and like talk about it,
I love
whatever
it.
that is.
Yeah. And we want to do a
Deal?
podcast that goes
Sure.
onto your podcast network.
Oh, yes. There we go.
Another passion project.
Oh, there we
go.
go. Yeah.
So.
Let's totally talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm into it.
I'm into it. Thank you guys.
Yes,
All right.
too.
I'm going to keep going, but
Okay.
you guys can wander off or
Okay.
wander around or go do what you're going to do. And I'm going to go back and talk with this guy for a little bit.
Okay.
All
fun.
right.
Yeah, thanks for having us on the show.
Yeah,
Thank you. Jess and Dan. What is your last name?
Pearson Pappas.
Oh.
Pearson, and we're both Pappas. But I
Oh,
still have Pearson
Pierce
in my
and
name.
Pappas.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where the P comes from. Yeah.
Yep.
The P2X. P2X. Bye, guys. Love you. Just love them, honestly. Jess and Dan from P2X Studio. That's where we're broadcasting live from today. We got about 25 minutes left of the program. My name is Nikki Darling. It's What's Up Wenatchee. Thank you all for being here. We can get some more comments here if you'd like in our comments section. You can do that or text into our interactive text line. Grayson,
Yes.
come on back and talk to me,
What?
sir.
You wanna talk to me?
No, I don't really, but I don't have anybody else, so
Darn, I really thought you wanted to talk to me.
it's okay.
I feel so.
Mistakes happen.
Mistakes happen.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. As a joke.
It's all good.
So, what do you think of our new friends Jess and Dan?
I love them.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I love their studio, but I love them.
I know we have a little bit of studio envy, but it's okay. We do great with what we've got.
We collaborate with other people. We meet other people. I mean, one of the most amazing things that people don't understand about what we do is we get to meet new people and be in new places every week. We're
Mhm.
never in the same
It's
place.
true. We're someplace.
I mean,
new
that
every week.
kind of also makes us a very unique podcast, I think.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I don't live in Wenatchee. I live in East Wenatchee.
I know, because you're special, right?
Special.
Yeah. Well, that's okay.
But you live in Wenatchee.
I do.
Have you sent in your voter
Yes.
ballot.
Oh, I did that like a while ago.
Okay. Well, I am just using it for conversation purposes.
I know. Yes, I have.
Jess and Dan, are you in Wenatchee or East Wenatchee? They're in Wenatchee. Okay. Have you filled out your voter ballot? Okay. She said not yet, but she's going to fill it out today and then send me a picture. Last few days to send in your ballot for the primary election.
Important. This particular one, this one is very important. This is for the mayor. So there's a lot going on. So this is a very important vote. I have heard a lot of people say, "Oh, it's just the mayor. I'm not voting." Yes, this is actually important. We're gonna go from 3 candidates to 2 candidates.
Well, when the people who say that, the people who go, "Oh, it's just the mayor," don't understand what the mayor does, or completely understand how much influence a mayor actually has over the city.
Right.
And I will tell you straight up, I didn't know. When Mike Poyer came to me and asked me to be his campaign manager, I had no idea what the true responsibilities of being a mayor entailed. I kind of had an idea, but politics is really not my game.
Right.
So I have worked with political campaigns before, but never ran an entire one before, or had to know what the nitty-gritty details were. Oh man, I know all the nitty-gritty details now. Man, oh man, oh man. But so the mayor, especially right now in Wenatchee, is a very important position because of certain things. Like, I know we keep bringing up the Confluence Parkway because that's one of the biggest projects
It is a big project.
that are
McKittrick project
right
is another big project that's going on.
Other initiatives like the homelessness issue is a big issue. I mean, it's not just mayor too. The school board positions are up right now too. So
I haven't heard anything about the school.
Yeah, they are up and being voted on as well. So
is that East Wenatchee or here in town?
That's here in town.
Oh, I haven't gotten any kind of ballot on that.
Oh, really?
Really?
So what was in your pamphlet?
The mayor.
Just mayor?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know.
I always look on that thing front and back because I get excited because
I believe you.
I am a weird voter.
I know that the school board positions are up, like they are out there. You see the signs and they're out there campaigning, and so there's other things other than the mayor.
If it's on there and I missed it, wow. Grace it. Because it's turned in. That's done. It's a done deal. Went to the library. Done. I don't miss things like that.
Well, you would know if you only voted for one thing or if you had to vote for multiple things.
Yeah.
Did you vote for multiple things? Or you just voted for one thing?
That's
there was
all
only
I saw.
One thing on the ballot.
That's all I saw in mine.
Okay. I don't have a ballot, so I don't know. I live in East Wenatchee. I don't know.
Yeah, it was literally the weirdest ballot because when I opened it up into 3 sections, the top corner was just and then it was blank.
Right.
There's nothing else.
Okay.
So
I will.
If it was, then I got gypped. I don't know, but that I didn't see anything like that on mine. I look for those things because I look for the initiatives, those sneaky little initiatives that make it on the ballot.
Yeah,
I like those too.
Okay, well, moving forward anyway, the mayoral primary, there are 3 candidates for people who don't know. There are 3 candidates. The primary knocks it down to 2. And then from August to November, the 2 candidates campaign, and then November 7th is that election, and then we'll see who the mayor is.
I feel it's going to be a really fierce battle, Nikki. I think I already know the two people it will be, and I feel one of those candidates is going to have to really step their game, like big time.
Well, I like that you said the phrase "step up." Was that a softball? Thank you for that. So the new podcast mini series, We Have a Responsibility, it has been released. Well, at least the first episode. Second episode will be out this afternoon. It's a podcast mini series about Mike Poyer. And well, it's really with Mike Poyer.
Right.
I shouldn't say about him, because it was a series of interviews that him and I sat down and talked about things other than politics, right? We did talk about some, but really wanted to get down to how he felt about certain things, other than politics, because it's not what you do, it's how you do it. It's not putting yard signs out. It's, are you following the rules? Are you being integrous? Are you holding yourself accountable? And those are the characteristics of a person that I look at when I'm trying to choose who is going to lead the city. Right? Those are the characteristics that person is going to take in to being a leader.
Right.
And if it's not that, if it's lying, if it's cheating, if it's cutting another person down, any of that, then I know that those are the traits that they're going to take in to being the leader of the city as well.
Right.
They're not going to change, just like that bad boy that you meet at the bar. He's not going to change his ways once he puts a ring on your finger. He's still going to be a bad boy. And I'm not talking about you.
Oh.
No. I'm just talking about women in general. Ladies, here's some advice. If they are a pea for a brain and talk to you and disrespect you and don't treat you good, even before you guys get married, it's not going to change later, right? Just because you get married doesn't mean he's going to start to magically respect you. That's not how it works. And that's not how it's going to work here with the mayor.
That's right.
Just because somebody because whatever their behavior is before, what they're doing now, campaigning, that's the same kind of mentality. It's the same kind of behavior that they're going to use when they're actually in office, and probably even worse, because why? They have the power. They have more power, more influence, and can do more.
Well, that's why I made the statement that I was making, because I pretty much have a pretty good idea of who those two candidates are going to be going forward. Just from the chatter of those who have voted and just what I see around town. So I'm sorry, Mr. Campbell. I don't think that you're going to be moving on to the next.
You don't think so? You don't think Brian's going to move on?
Okay. No, I don't. But I do feel that of the two candidates, I think that Mike's going to have to step it up and
I hope you're wrong. Actually.
Make it just like, hey, check this out, McLaughlin. I'm the better guy. Because he is. And I know that's a personal thing. And everyone's got to have their own personal, point of view. But I'd like to see more of that. Get your Mike Poyer sign. Get it in your yard. Yeah. I'm one of those people that when I have an opportunity to meet somebody and I get to ask them the really hard questions and they answer those questions and then they look you in the eye and they shake your hand. And it's real.
Yeah.
That means something to me. And I mean, I'm privileged. I know that I've got to meet so many important politicians of this state since I was 18, because my uncle was on the state legislature. So I feel very honored to have shook hands with like Christine Gregoire and ask her questions. And even before her, I'm spacing his name right now, but the governor before her. And even Bill Clinton, even his wife. So you get to ask people questions, these politicians questions, and you can tell if they're being genuine or disingenuine based on their handshake and if they look you in your eye. Some people
can. Some people, you can. I can. Not everybody has that ability.
Yeah, I agree. But I do feel really honored to get to have done that, and getting to meet Mike kind of was out of the blue. I wasn't really anticipating that moment to happen. But yeah, I mean, he answered questions. I've seen him in city council meetings more than a handful of times since I've lived here. I've heard him speak. So, I mean, I know that he's been involved in the projects he talks about because he's talked about them. They don't just go and sit around a table. There's lots of stuff that goes on in the city that people don't realize if you don't go to a meeting.
Yeah. But he wants to bring city council meetings to the people.
I think that would be important.
I
think having your community aware of what it is you're doing so it doesn't feel sprung upon you is important. There's a lot of people that want to talk about the Huron, right? They want to talk about the bald eagles, the sanctuary. There's a lot of people who want to talk about these roundabouts that are appearing everywhere. And there's a lot of people that want to talk about what's with this McKittrick project. How long is Wenatchee Avenue, on the north side of town going to look like this, right? So you've got people that have questions, and this is now the opportunity to really learn about these candidates, and not just what you read and not just what you hear audibly on the radio, because I've heard a lot of this now.
Oh, you mean mcmayor.com? Yeah, no, they should go to mcmayor.com. I encourage people
I think
to go.
That's really important. I think that's really
look up. I have wenatcheevalley.com. That's Mike's website for his campaign. But yes, mcmayor.com is James McLaughlin's website.
It makes me laugh when
I don't know what Brian's website is, but I
don't mean to be a jerk, McLaughlin, but that is the silliest name it's just me. Personal. It's personal. Politics is politics. I want something that's more serious, I guess. I want somebody who's going to understand this valley, that's been in this valley, that's worked in this valley, that's participated in what's been going on in this valley, because the changes that are happening are pretty radical. And they're more radical now than they've been in the past 20 years. So I may not have lived here for the last 20 years, but I've been a part of this valley my entire life. So I've seen the radical change happen before I even purchased a house and moved here.
Well, the thing is, the more I talk with Mike is the more I learn about things that are behind the scenes.
Yeah, I've learned a lot too.
Not that are like life-changing, but things that I just wouldn't normally know about that are happening. And like I said, not changing my life in any way. But this is the life that he lives.
Right.
He lives the life of a city servant, a public servant. He lives that life. He goes to the board meetings. He sits on the boards. He goes to the committees. He's on the transportation board. He's on the budget board. Like, this is his life. This is the life that he lives day in and day out. I just get to see a little glimpse of it. I do not think that anybody else is living that life the way that he's living it.
I think that's one thing I admire about him is what he participates on are super important things. Like you mentioned the transportation board. That is like a really big deal. Okay, so maybe you and I may not take the bus, but Link Transit is very important to this community, and I know a lot of people who do take the bus. The routes they have been able to add and the buses they've been able to add are important. It's been very, very crucial. Now, I know I may not take the bus now, but I rode the bus when I lived in California and went to college. I was on the Muni all the time.
Yeah.
and it's very comparable to East Coast type of transportation. I've never experienced anything like that. But when you come to a smaller area like this, you don't really think that it needs something like that kind of transport. But they've got it. And they've got it going up to Kashmir. They got it going up to Chelan. They have it going to Moses Lake. And there are people that need that service, and they need to be able to get around. And I just think it's awesome. I think that what he's done and pushing that, and I've got to vote on stuff for transportation, is important. So having a candidate that understands the importance of the needs of the residents is crucial. I know that
or wants to understand.
Right.
Needs.
I know
if they don't understand it yet, they want to understand it.
I guess I'm the kind of resident, because of what my background is and what I went to college for, right? Is to understand the layout of a town and the residents within it, the needs that the residents have within it, and everything that's going on, right? So my degree is architecture.
Right.
And that's not just building houses. A lot of people think, oh, that's just building houses. It's construction, it's interior design, but it's also city planning and development. And city planning and development was something that I really enjoyed learning about. So city planning and development is for me, is just fun. And for other people that don't understand what that is, did you ever play SimCity? It's kind of like that. You're kind of learning. It's kind of an obscure way of saying it, but you're learning about all these things. So taking that to the real world, I like to know what we're doing for everybody and what's being provided, and what we're doing to make improvements for people to not only get around, but parks for people to go to. Knowing that Mike was like part of like I hope I'm not misspeaking here. I learned about the dog park. Did you know that we have a dog park here on this side of town? And knowing that, like, I heard that he was part of that, like, then they approved all of that. I was like, I love that dog park. I know that it is not this big grassy area that people really wanted, but come on, it's a dog park, right? I'd like to walk around and let my boys play, and I walk this big loop in it. And I think it's great because a lot of places don't have a dog park. It's great. The skate parks, all these things that happen here. I
know there's plenty that people like, but they're always going to pick out the things that they don't like, right? And no, you're never going to agree.
You're never going to make everybody happy,
right? And you're never going to agree with a candidate 100%.
No.
That's what I keep reminding people. And so I want people to go and listen to this podcast mini series. The first episode is called Step Up, Step Out. And it's Mike talking about his decision to run for mayor and why he decided that. So I'm actually it's only about 7 minutes long. So we have about 5 minutes left in the program. So I'm going to play it. And let it round out the last little bit of the program here. So we'll say goodbye. And we want to give a huge thank you to our hosts for today, Jess and Dan.
Thank
from
you, Jess and Dan
Studios. Thank you so much for hosting us today and being just amazing and adorable. And
I love this pin for life.
And I have a feeling we'll see a lot more of them in the future. And please don't forget to check out the Washington State Swap Meet. Go to WashingtonStateSwapMeet.com. 3 days, huge state festival coming to the East Wenatchee Fourplex, September 8th, 9th, and 10th. We have 3 days full of activities, vendors, food, a stage, activities and events, and a lot of fun. And we just need you. That's it. And we'll see you there. If you need anything, just reach out to us. We will be back next Friday.
I hope you guys have a good weekend out there. Stay safe.
And we love you. Thank you for all your support. You can always go to WenatcheeValley.com to listen to all the different episodes of We Have a Responsibility. Make sure you send in your ballots by Tuesday. Tuesday is election day. Peace out, everybody.
Mike Poyer is not a politician. He is a guy who simply loves Wenatchee and is passionate to give back to his community. He has given his time, mind, and effort to many projects and committees over the years. That includes his 2 separate terms on the City Council. If elected, we could expect a smooth transition in completing the Confluence Parkway, which is essential in handling the growth of Wenatchee. His passions also include providing for the homeless with expectations, supporting the land trust with continued growth, and creating outreach programs in the community. He wants to know what you have to say. Mike is honest, experienced, and sensible. Imagine that. I trust him. He is my guy for Mayor of Wenatchee.
So we're still going with the real guy versus what my platform is. That's okay.
Yeah. And if it's going in a way that you don't like, let me know.
I turned my life over to you for
I know.
5 more months. I counted it out this morning. July, August, September, October, November, 5 months. It's not even November. It's actually 4 months. You think about July, August, September, October.
Oh, okay. Well, let's start there. How's that been actually, like, turning, you said it, turning your life over to a process, a campaign process?
Yeah, turning your life over to campaign process. A friend of mine told me it's almost like having a baby. That it's the whole process. You learn things from each trimester, I guess.
Mm.
But it's kind of neat. It's kind of impressive to see how much support I've received. Besides family, I'm getting calls. Bart Clennon, which 90% of the people know in Wenatchee, and says, "Hey, we got to make sure our community is going the right direction." I love those calls. You know, I don't cringe for any calls. I get some calls that are hard to deal with.
Yeah.
And you have to face them. But I tell you, more and more, I'm getting all these other calls, Dave Galatly and Councilmember Kulas. But it always comes down to, I got stopped at the Cafe Mila. I was having a coffee with Rosa Polito, who graduated actually with my youngest daughter, Libby. I thought that was cool. But as I'm leaving, sorry about that.
Okay, it's real life, right? Our phones never stop going off.
That's my son-in-law. But as I was leaving, a gentleman came up to me and just, "Hey, so you know I'm voting for you." He used to own a beverage company in Wenatchee, and I've known him for like 20, 30 years. And I said, "Hey, that means a lot, but it's not about me. It's about the community." And he just pointed at me, he smiled. He's with 5 other guys having his coffee and pointing and smiled at me. He says, "That's the reason I'm voting for you." It cannot be about yourself. It's got to be bigger than that. And I truly believe, as I'm going through this process, I know more and more the direction of the city of Wenatchee is going to go. It kind of makes me proud to be able to represent the city, and knowing that the direction it has gone overall, I think, has been great. And the direction that it's going to continue to go with my leadership is opportunity for me to do the right thing for our community. So,
what are some of the hard phone calls that you get? Because I have to field some of the difficult conversations too, and I don't tell you all about them, but it's not easy. But I've had to deal with difficult and different minded people, my entire career for different reasons. So I've found a way to not take it personal is, I think, the first rule of the game. Like, it's not about you. It's not a personal attack, but what are some of the things that you're getting phone calls about that are difficult, and how do you handle it?
What I have learned is when people, and I've learned this through my business experience, is when people contact you, call you, and they're upset about something. First of all, they're usually upset about not what they're talking about. They might be upset because maybe they lost their kid 2 years ago and life's not fair sometimes. But if it's an issue that's a true issue, I would rather talk to them directly, personally, than face to face, than on a phone, and to find out really what's going on and try to listen to both sides. There are some people that don't want to listen and they have their mind set. Very few people are like that, but I'd rather go and we both have different ideas, or we have a different process of getting there, but if we both truly believe in the community, then I think it's fine. We don't have to always agree, But if we both think we're going the right direction to get there, and eventually we care about the city or a community or a greater Wenatchee area, I think that's great. I have conflicts with some of the commissioners once in a while, and we laugh and joke. And usually when I'm all said and done, I says, I love you. We're not right on the same page as this, but we both know whenever I have those conflicts, we both know we're trying to get the right direction. There is sometimes that you can't get there. One of the calls is regarding pride flags, which is actually in Wenatchee, they're diversity flags.
Mhm.
And what is the meaning? But Wenatchee has a process of the permit process to go through. I think it's a good process. I think we need that. I really enjoyed seeing a quote from a mayor over a different area that said there's no room for hate. I love that quote. It's just, to me, it's just impressive. It's interesting. I was on so certain quotes mean a lot to me. So that's one quote that means something to me. There's no room for hatred here. Let's work things out. Let's try to figure it out. Let's be positive and enjoy our community. So since I'm speaking of quotes, I'm going to tell you, I was on a Together for Youth board meeting, and Together Youth just got a $1.5 million grant, which is unheard of.
Wow.
For the Together. Yeah, it's pretty cool for Together for Youth. And I was very proud to be I'm proud to be on that board. And Mario Reyes and a couple other people are very influential in there. And our new executive director got a hold of somebody that's in charge of the whole country for this grant and actually got us the $1.5 million. And I'm on the Zoom meeting with this lady, and she obviously looked up my name and says, "Oh, I hear you're running for mayor. I'm glad you're stepping up and stepping out." So I use that all week, and then I still use it every once in a while. As Nikki knows, I use that. But it takes a lot to step up, but it's more, make sure you step out and get involved and remember what the right thing is to do.
Hi, I'm Mike Poyer, and I've been getting asked a lot lately, why did you decide to run for mayor? Because I truly believe that I am the person right now who is most qualified, and I'm looking out for what is best for everyone in our community as a whole. I know you won't agree with me all the time. Even if you agree with me today, tomorrow we might disagree. I hope that you come to know that even in these times, you can trust that I will make the hard decisions for the betterment of our city.